Come to Helmuth Ford, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Hi, this is Stacy from Shuttler Insurance Services. Come see me on the east side of the square in Sigourney for all your insurance needs.
Skunk River Radio is online radio for Southeast Iowa, playing country music from 1990 through 2010, along with Iowa country music. Listen to Steve Shetler weekdays from 6 a.m. to noon and The Haze from noon to 6 p.m. Skunk River Radio also has Southeast Iowa weather, community calendar, and we play all your country music favorites like Garth, Reba, Shania, Brooks and Dunn, and many, many more. Listen to Skunk River Radio at skunkriverradio.com. Download the app with Apple and Android devices or listen on Alexa and Google Assistant. Skunk River Radio. Online radio for Southeast Iowa.
And it's time for Real Talk. We came in just as you were making a very interesting face, Aaron.
I was silently saying, yeah, because you were talking and I didn't want to,
Yeah, I didn't know what that was for sure. It looked like you were in pain.
No, it was more of a happy kind of, yeah.
Are you ready to do it?
Do it. Do it. Let's
You
do
say it.
it.
I like it so much better when you say it.
I've practiced
Do
a
it.
lot over
Do
the
it.
years. It's one of these broadcast professional things that I do.
Yeah.
I do it.
Do you look at yourself in the mirror while you're practicing
Do
saying
it. I confess, I do. Yeah.
You're going down the road, rural Iowa, not much going on.
Yeah. Practice in the car, practice in the shower, practice. Practice is just one of the foundations of greatness.
Yes.
So now that we've been super goofy for 2 minutes, which might be what we're best at here on
Yes.
Real Talk.
Yes.
Some people think that Real Talk means that this is going to be really intense and we're going to be like dissecting the biggest issues of the day and talking about hard hitting stuff. And it's actually real silly.
With some real seriousness.
So we'll transition into the real seriousness and just want to check back in about what we were talking about last week. I put in a shameless plug for this book by my friend Keith Spurgeon. It's called Unknown. You can get it at Barnes and Nobles or any place online where books are sold. Amazon, Barnes and Noble online, whatever. And it's a quick read. But we talked last week about how Keith kind of breaks down 4 levels of communication, ranging from cliches, the kind of like, hey, how are you doing, man? Or when you don't remember somebody's name, dude, hey, dude. Which is better than ignoring the person, right? But not a real deep conversation. So we range from cliches down to intimacy. And so keep that in mind. Now I'm going to talk about the theme that we've been working with at New Life for the last couple of months, which is New Life. That's the church I lead down in Wellman, Iowa, right down on Main Street. We're your friendly downtown church at 257 8th Avenue. But we've been talking about just this theme of fill this house. So what do you got? We're talking about the church. We're talking about even just your own heart, because your heart is a house for God. But your own home, your family, where do you work? What are the spaces that you move and live in? And let's intentionally fill those spaces with something that we're doing on purpose instead of just letting life happen to us. So the message that I'm talking about today is fill this house with the Word. And it's more impressive if you emphasize the D at the end.
Are we going to get into a tent revival here? The Word.
The Word of the Lord.
There we go.
Not too bad.
I like it.
I've not practiced that as much as I have. Do it. So anyway, fill this house, fill your heart, fill your life with the Word of the Lord. And so we're going to talk about the book of Nahum. Everybody's favorite book in the Bible, right?
Yes. Love it.
Okay. Do you remember what it's about?
Well, it's about,
God.
and some other things that happen.
It's one of those obscure books that we call the Minor Prophets. And we call them the Minor Prophets not because they're unimportant, but because the major prophets each got their own scroll back when everything was written on a scroll. And then the minor prophets were short enough that they would put several of those books onto one scroll. So it's got nothing to do with the importance and everything to do with the length of the book. But Nahum is one of those obscure, like we've got Obadiah. Joel is maybe one of the more popular minor prophets because he's got kind of the in the last days the Lord will pour out his spirit on all mankind, and at least in Pentecostal circles or charismatic circles we're like, yeah, that's how we know that the Spirit of God pours out on people and we have power to heal and prophesy and speak in tongues and all that kind of stuff. So Joel's maybe a little bit more famous. Malachi is kind of like when you think about tithing and teaching on tithing, people go to Malachi. But Nahum is like, what? What is that? So honestly, when I decided to preach on Nahum, I had to go read it to find out what it was about.
Okay.
And what we're going to do today, pretty briefly, we're not going to do a super deep dive, but I want to take Keith Spurgeon's 4 levels of communication and apply that to how we read maybe a more obscure book of the Bible, or maybe even one of the popular books, Psalms, the Gospel of John, the book of Revelation, whatever you're looking at. How do I think about what God is communicating? So real quick refresher. The 4 levels of communication from shallow to deep are cliche, facts and information, feelings and opinions, and finally intimacy. So I'm gonna start off in Nahum chapter 1, verse 1, which goes like this. An oracle concerning Nineveh, the book of the vision of Nahum the Elkoshite. I don't even know what that means.
I like to end with shite. It's like your Sean Connery.
That's a pretty good Sean Connery there. Not too shabby.
Shite.
You could be the next James Bond.
Sidetrack. Squirrel. Sorry.
Steve Bond.
Sorry.
That's all right. If anything, like maybe that's a little bit of a cliche. Like it's just the opening of a book of prophecy, and you got to name who the guy is, and like this is a prophecy by this dude who has this name. So maybe a little bit of a cliche. But then Nahum is going to dump the feelings on us right away. Verse 2, the Lord is a jealous and avenging God. The Lord takes vengeance and is filled with wrath. The Lord takes vengeance on his foes and maintains his wrath against his enemies. And boom, right out of the gate, most people are like, wait a minute. I thought Jesus loved me. I thought God was nice. Why is he talking about his feelings in this way? Why can't we go back to Psalm 23 and the Lord is my shepherd? I liked that way better. Oh, and now we're running into exactly what we run into if we're in a conversation with humans and all of a sudden a bunch of their feelings start pouring out. Like, I don't know if I can handle this. Quit crying. It makes me really uncomfortable. Why are you laughing so loud? That also makes me uncomfortable. I didn't get the joke. Like, can we all be reasonably quiet Iowans here? Like we've worked really hard to create a stoic culture where we don't show our feelings very much except at football games where it is allowed.
Yeah.
And then you can scream and jump up and down and hug strangers and high five people you've never met before.
Yeah.
But other than that, could we please keep things at a reasonable amount of emotion, by which I mean very little. But no, right out of the gate, verse 2, the prophet Nahum is like, God is jealous and he's angry and he maintains his wrath. And that's going to raise a question. If we don't freak out, and I suggest that maybe this is a good idea for human relationships too. If I don't freak out when I first encounter someone's strong emotions, which I usually do. We were talking a couple of weeks ago about the protesters who went into the church in Minnesota, and I was trying to think about like how would I respond, and honestly I would probably just freeze, like, oh, I don't know what to do. I just want to hide now. But if I can get through that initial I don't know what to do with your feelings, then I start to think maybe it would be good if I understood why this person is sad, angry, laughing so loudly. And so that if I can dig down past the initial outpouring of emotion, maybe that's where the true intimacy starts to occur. And in the case of anger, what is this person angry for? Why is this person filled with wrath? Usually because something is going on that hurts or frightens them. And with God, he's not scared. Like you wouldn't be scared if you were God, because like that's the whole thing about being God. But you might be upset about something, and we find out later on in Nahum some things like this. Woe to the city of blood, full of lies. Oh, what is God angry about? Well, he doesn't like to see cities full of blood. And he doesn't like to see cities full of lies. We read a little bit later, all because of the wanton lust of a harlot, alluring the mistress of sorceries, who enslaved nations by her prostitution and peoples by her witchcraft. Now we're starting to really get a handle on what makes God angry. And now I'm really learning about who God is, even down past the level of his emotions. So what is it that God's upset about? Lies. Well, can I identify with that? Yeah, I don't like to be lied to. When I find out I've been lied to, I also feel angry. Maybe this is not a God that I should be scared of or repulsed by. Maybe this is a God that I can identify with. What else makes God upset? The wanton lust of a harlot. People who run around enslaving other nations. Sorcery, witchcraft. So now I know something about God's heart. And now I have a decision to make. Am I going to engage in the kinds of things that make God angry? Or am I going to repent of my sin and receive salvation and come out from under that and receive the gift that God is trying to give me? So, wow, I think we just kind of like almost got a halfway decent sermon out of the book of Nahum, didn't we?
I think so.
Like we could unpack that a little bit more. But when we look at it in terms of God is trying to communicate something about his heart and show us who he really is and what he likes and what he does not like, then I actually know somebody. And boy, then I just bounce back into my human relationships. When I really know what someone likes or doesn't like, I can really connect with them a lot better. I can stop doing the thing that person doesn't like. Want a funny illustration?
Sure.
So I'll try to keep names and situations veiled to protect the innocent. But a young man recently asked me, like, how important is it to put the seat down? Well, I'm glad that you asked. Now I can share with you my heart about this matter. And you know, I'm a seat down guy. Like, you finished, you put the seat down, in respect for the next person who might, are we allowed to say this stuff on the air? What if somebody's in a hurry? What if the next person is in a hurry? You know what I mean? And what if I'm the next person? So So in my heart, I really want the seat down. Like, it's about respect and preparing for the future. Oh boy. Is it time to cut me off?
We might be getting there, yeah.
We might be getting there. All right. So if you're wondering about whether or not to put the seat down, do it.
Now you know Aaron's heart.
Do it. Yeah, we had a moment of intimacy
Yes.
here on Real Talk, and now everybody's awkward, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. This is our goal in relationships, is to know each other and then continue to love each other and continue to be friends, even when someone overshares a little bit. You know?
Or someone leaves the seat up.
Or
You can still be friends. It might be hard. It might be difficult.
But you gotta keep working through it. So anyway, we better wrap up for today. But it's always good to be with you, and it's always good to be with the friends at New Life Church in Wellman, Iowa. We're your friendly downtown church. You can join us at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning at 257 8th Avenue. There's a 8th Avenue entrance, and there's a 9th Avenue entrance in case you're coming from the west side of town. So I hope we get to see you around soon.
I was going to make a joke about how the 8th Avenuers and the 9th Avenuers don't really get along, so they have to take separate entrances. But that's neither here nor there.
We're just trying to get everybody to meet in the middle, just trying to make a way to get people into the house of God, or God, as we sometimes say.
What was that old, here's the church and here's the steeple.
Here's the church, here's the steeple.
Look inside and see all the people.
Where are all the people? So, yeah, you got to do it this way. Here's the church, here's the steeple, open the doors, see all the people?
And they're wiggling around. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, all right.
We're just making things worse. See you next week.